Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Firehouse Chef. I'm still your host, Ryan McKay, and this is a special episode, one I hope of many to come, called Your Burning Question, where you post a question either via Twitter, Facebook, or the website, and I tackle it. It could be a culinary nature about a specific technique or ingredient, or it could be about being a fireman or fire safety. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, kids, let's go ahead and get started. I've decided to cut this up with one question via email, Twitter, and Facebook. So let's dive right in. First one is actually from Dave in Florida via email, and he says, "Love the show." Thanks, Dave. You're a natural Alton Brown-esque host. Thank you. But why do you only have one episode every 2 weeks? And what on earth is an ABC fire extinguisher? Well, I thought I'd tackle the last question first. An ABC fire extinguisher, and I have one here, is the most commercially readily available fire extinguisher out there. Most likely, if you have a fire extinguisher at home, this is the kind that you have, but I want to make sure that you verify it is, because they do sell different types of fire extinguishers out there, and you may have grabbed the wrong one. But it'll be have a marking on every single fire extinguisher that it is a Class A or Class B or Class C, or in this case, an ABC fire extinguisher. And those classes dignify what type of fires they fight. A Class A fire is any ordinary combustibles. You're thinking trash, paper, wood, anything along those lines. Class B fire is anything that's liquefied in manner. We're thinking gasoline, kerosene, perhaps an oil fire there in the kitchen. And then a Class C is any electrically charged fire. You're thinking small appliances, blenders, toasters, and whatnot. As soon as you remove the electricity, it then becomes a Class A fire. So just make sure you have one of these, preferably one on every single floor in your house, and someplace where you can get to it quickly and everybody knows where it is. Just like you should have at least one, what do you call those things up there on the top? Oh, smoke detectors. You want to make sure you have at least one smoke detector on every single floor of your house. That's just the firemen coming out at me. Sorry about that. Your first question, though. Glad you asked it, because I've been asked this a numerous amount of times. Why are you only pumping out one episode every 2 weeks? Well, as you guys know, I am a working fireman. I work every third day. And as firemen, it's a labor of love. You don't make a whole hell of a lot of money. You get rewarded in other ways, of course. But to kind of supplement the income, I need to have a second job. That coupled with the fact that I've got a family, and family comes first for me. I got to spend time with them. I mean, in fact, I had to kick them out of the house just to record these episodes because they're so loud. I love you, kids. But I like to produce more episodes, but it's just not, I'm time sensitive and money sensitive. But one way you can help is by donating. You can go to the website. In fact, the next question comes via Twitter from one of my donors. Her name is Emily. And also Mr., I'm assuming it's a Mr., it could be a Mrs., but M. Rizwan, they both asked via Twitter for a good potato recipe. So I told myself I wasn't going to cook today, but you guys, you're asking for it, so I'm going to give it to you. So stay tuned for a quick and easy potato recipe. All right, I'm not trying to promise magic with this recipe, but it actually turned out pretty good. This is kind of a recipe born of necessity at the firehouse. I was given a challenge of throwing together some potato salad with what we had. I want to also show you can make a really good potato salad with whatever little staple items you have. Now, this is actually a mustard-driven recipe, so make sure you go get yourself some whole grain Dijon mustard. Really, any mustard will be sufficient, but the regular deli mustard and whatnot will kind of overpower it, so you want to make sure you have a nice whole grain mustard. This is just some apple cider vinegar, some mayonnaise, salt and pepper, and some fresh herbs of your choosing, whatever you have growing in your garden. I've also chosen some small waxy red potatoes because that's what I have. And I'm going to throw this all together. And great thing about this recipe as well, you can either serve it hot right off the plate here, or nice and cold, which kind of lets all the flavors meld. So let's get going. So there you guys have it, a nice, quick, easy potato recipe using typically mostly staple items. And like I said, you can either serve it hot or cold. I know there are a number of vegans who watch the show, so you can always cut out the mayonnaise and put in extra virgin olive oil, although I would probably cut it to at least a half to 2/3 of a cup. But for those non-vegans, myself included, who like to live life a little dangerously, I like to, and I told Emily this as well, I like to take 1 or 2 strips of bacon, render it down until it's nice and crisp, and then pulverize it into small little pieces, and then add that to the bacon salad as well. And if you're serving it hot and you like to live life dangerously, go ahead and take about a teaspoon of the bacon fat and throw it in there as well. It's quite delicious. But anyways, let's jump back to the last question. This comes from Suzanne via Texas. On Facebook, she posted a lot of questions. In fact, she had so many questions, she backfilled them with some more on the website. I'm only going to pick a few. Don't fret, I'll get back to the other ones in another episode. But first question was a good one, I thought. What is your favorite quick dinner to fix? We young moms need such dishes on hand pronto. One of my go-to quick dinners is chicken or fish tacos. I know it doesn't sound very exciting, but you can throw them together in about 5 or 10 minutes, especially if you take the time to pre-plan and cook ahead some chicken or fish, which you can keep in your refrigerator for a couple of days. You can saute them or grill them. And what you do is just warm up some tortillas on the cast iron, chop up some cabbage or some lettuce, throw the protein down on there, squirt a little lime juice and perhaps some crema or some sour cream and some salt and pepper, and you're good to go. And it'll serve 4 or 5 people quite handily. If you need to, backfill it with some sauteed peppers, sauteed onions, or some Mexican rice or black beans on the side. Very quick, very easy, very delicious. Question number 2, why must chefs be so snobby? Well, of course, everybody knows I'm not a chef. I have had no culinary training whatsoever. I'm coming at you from a different point of view with that respect, just from hard hours in the kitchen, learning at the firehouse and whatnot here at home. But I don't know where the whole chef's thing is snobby, but wait a minute. Turn off the camera for a second. Sir, the champagne goes on the left side, the caviar on the right side. My gosh, how hard is that? All right, to pick it back up. 1, 2, 3. I think chefs have kind of a little bit of a bum rap. I think it's kind of silly, actually. Last question. Why is fresh garlic better than the jarred kind that you find? And can I use the jarred can or garlic in a can in a pinch? You can. Do I favor it? Absolutely not. If you refer back to the garlic episode, which was a 2-parter, I love garlic. It's almost blasphemy that you sent me this question, but I'm going to answer it anyways. You can't control the flavor. You can't control the power of it. You can't decide whether it's savory or sweet. It's pretty much cut up the same size, same flavor profile every single time. And in my humble opinion, it actually has something of a little bit of like a chemical aftertaste. Not something that I find very delicious. So what you can do in a pinch, yes, you can use it, but I would recommend rinsing it off underneath the sink of running water for a couple of minutes. Try and wash as much of that chemical taste off, because if I had to choose between garlic and no garlic in a recipe, I'm going to go garlic every single day of the week. But it's, fresh garlic is very easy to handle. Please just watch the episode on garlic again. Hopefully it'll kind of bolster your confidence in dealing with garlic. Well, that's all the questions I have. If you weren't connected to this and you didn't know I was going to be doing this, please get connected. Follow me on Twitter. I love it. I love all the conversations that start there. I love the Facebook. I love the website. I'm going to keep posting questions on there as well. Keep yourselves involved. If you consider becoming a donor as well, this is my first purchase right up here that I took with your monies. I'm putting it right back into the show. None of it goes into my pocket at all. But I do it for you, and I love doing it. So, again, thank you for contributing, and until next time, I can be a chef, why not you? Chefs are not snobby. Maybe some. I can name a few off the top of my head.